Hey guys, it's Mishel, Deception Bytes, and I am picking up from where we left off with the Q post. Now, I do have to apologize to you guys. As I stated, last Saturday was my graduation party, and my parents surprised me with a visit from an out-of-country guest. And we are like brother and sister, and have known each other for over 20 years, but of course haven't seen him for a while. And we talk on the phone. We've got similar background and so forth, but haven't seen each other for a long time. And so I was absolutely, well, surprised isn't even the word. But anyway, that is why I'm behind this week. And I know it's been a very intense week of posting for Q, and there's a lot of stuff going on. So it was a very bad week in terms of being behind with the Q posting. But I promise you, he left today at 7 a.m. for the airport, and I'm going to be back on track. I've been working today to get caught up, and I'm going to bring you the posts up to the point where I have, which is today's post. Q's been posting today. There's a lot of intense stuff happening, and certainly stuff that is leading finally to some vindication for Trump. That's for sure. So I'm going to get started here. I don't know how many videos it's going to take, but I promise you we will be caught up. And I don't foresee anything in the near future to get me off track again. So let's get started. And I'm starting with May 14th, which is sad because that's how far behind I am. But let's get caught up. Hopefully, I know you guys listen to others, and hopefully I'm going to be able to bring you something new that you haven't heard before, or be able to help us look at it in a different way. And that's what it's all about. I encourage people to listen to others as well and get as many viewpoints so that they can make up their own minds. So let's go. And this post is a sample, so says Q, of the stories that are out there that are claiming that Q is a conspiracy theory. So in other words, it's fake news. Like, for example, QAnon, 4chan, the Storm Conspiracy Explained, the conspiracy theory that says Trump is a genius, things like that. And I'm not going to go through all these links because it would take us forever, one thing. The other thing, I'm going to start putting the link, the direct link in the description to the posts themselves so that you can go out, and any links there you can easily see and follow for yourselves if you want more information. A lot of these links, not here, but a lot of links I will go out, and I will provide additional links as well to give us a more rounded view of what is happening and what Q is talking about. But here, I don't think this is necessary. I think we've all seen all this stuff that is claiming that Q is a LARP, a live action role playing, or just a conspiracy theory, or whatever name, it's getting the amount of stuff is getting too voluminous to even speak about because we have so much disinformation hitting us in the face every day. But you have to, if you've been following Q all along, have to realize how much coordination there's been between Q and Trump's posts. So his Twitter and so forth. So we know that this is someone with an inside track. And if not, I do believe Trump would have addressed it already, because certainly he's aware that it's going on. You can be sure. So let's move on. Oh, I missed something down here. So Q says coordinated, and what he's talking about is all these articles. Is this a coordinated attack? Yeah, of course it is. It's disinformation, and they're trying to make us look like we're complete idiots, that we're out there, that we're tinfoil hat wearers, and conspiracy theorists, and we're not. This is not conspiracy theory, it's conspiracy fact. And I know that that's something that Alex Jones has said in the past, but it just happens to be true. I mean, we can see that this has merit. If not, you guys would have dropped off a long time ago, because I know that the people that listen are not stupid. And I appreciate all your comments and so forth. So, and then Q says all for a LARP, live action role playing, which we know. Is all this for a LARP? Would they, in other words, he's saying, would they pull out all the stops and start attacking it in the media if it was just some, little teenager in mama's basement doing a live action role playing and just gaming us, and would there be that much attack against it? Why would there be? Why would they even address it if that was the case? They'd be like, okay, well, if they want to believe that, well. So, yeah. And Q says, attacks will only intensify. And ask yourself, why? Anytime you have the truth, you're going to have an attack of that truth. And that's true across the board. Wherever you find truth, you will find a concentrated attack of that truth. Always. Always. So let's move on. And again, I'm not saying that everything that comes out of Q's mouth or from the Q team is truth. We've got to weigh all that. But there is a certain truth in it, and it's being attacked. So I guess that's what I wanted to say. I guess that explains it a little bit better. Now, let's go up to this post. And this is Q, and he's posting this. And then he's going to refer to this post above. So hang on. Blackwater founder and former Navy SEAL Eric Prince told Breitbart News Daily on Sirius XM that according to one of his well-placed sources in the New York Police Department, the New York Police Department wanted to do a press conference announcing the warrants and the additional arrests they were making in the Anthony Weiner investigation, but received huge pushback from the Justice Department. So that's interesting. Now, of course, Eric Prince was, the founder of, it was formerly known as Blackwater. It's gone by several names, but Blackwater really was, they were contract defense, not always engaged in not always engaged in things that were on the up and up. And anyway, I'm going to leave that there. So, pictures leaked for this very moment. Now, Q is referring to his own post from April 8th. It says, pictures leaked for this very moment. Who, what is not pictured? What forces shadowed no name? Contractors, special contractors. Now, what was Blackwater? Blackwater, they were special contractors, special government contractors. And in this picture, and this is the picture, remember when he gave us all the pictures of McStain, and he was over in Syria, and there was the whole spider web thing, and it had him pictured with several terrorists, and it said, would he be that close to these terrorists if he was in any danger? And so who is not pictured? Who is not in the picture? So, and we could see the special service, Secret Service there, but they were relaxed as he was talking with these terrorists. Well, why? Why were they so relaxed? Well, that's because Blackwater was there, and possibly even Eric Prince himself. Perhaps that is who or what is not pictured. Well, it was Blackwater. Contractors, special contractors. What was delivered? Smiles. Now, as we know, weapons and money and so forth were smuggled in through his wife's nonprofit organization, Smiles for Kids. And what that organization does, purportedly, is seek medical attention for children with cleft palates. And so they provide that surgery, and they probably do provide some surgery, but it's also used as a cover to smuggle things in, because who is going to mess with something labeled Smiles for Kids? Seriously. So, and then it says exact location. Well, it was Syria. Exact. Building E of spiderweb marker. Open source. And of course we know that below that was a spider web of underground tunnels that led across the border, and also even hospitals. So that's interesting. And then again here, this is a Q post from the same date, April 8th, and it says CEO Prince, was CIA asset think double. So he was a double agent. He was a CIA asset, but he was a double agent. So he was there. He saw all this, and we can presume that he has told the Trump administration or whoever is investigating he has told them what he knows. Why are we confirming this publicly? Why now? Because McStain, suddenly so ill. Yeah, I'd be ill too. If I had done what he had done, and then I knew that the person that was shadowing me during this trip was telling everything, yeah, I'd be really sick too. Really, really sick. And I would probably have bought stocks in Depends. Just saying. Because you can bet he's messed his pants by now. Imagine you think you've gotten away with it all, and then you find out that part of your security is a double agent. Uh-oh. That sucks, doesn't it? Sucks to be him. If you don't do the crime, you don't do the time. So, while I'm a very compassionate person, the most compassionate thing to do for our country would be to bring him to justice. Absolutely. He did the crime. He's got to do the time. So now, this post is referring to the post that I just read to you, and it is from 4/19, but Q is posting it on May 14th, and it's a throwback to his April 19th post, and he says, Rudy, New York City, relationships high, insurance file. What's the insurance file? Well, remember, that's the file on Wiener's laptop, and probably named insurance file because the information held within would ensure that he would not be killed. Because he had this on them, he could blackmail them, he could bribe them, he could blackmail them, extort, whatever he wanted to do. He felt probably it would keep him alive. That was his insurance file. And they would keep quiet about whatever he had done because he had this insurance file on them. And Q is saying quiet until now. Join POTUS legal team. And yes, Rudy Giuliani did join Trump's legal team. Direct discussion available now with Mueller. So he's directly discussing with Mueller. Enjoy the show. They never thought she would lose. Careless. Q. And more is going to come out, certainly, about this insurance file. And more is coming out. So we can go on. And 14137 is, hang on just 1 second, is this. Now, this Anon writes, I don't think it would be fair to say that a journalist can't make money when covering Q. Yes, we're back on that again. But that's the difference. A journalist covering Q isn't necessarily usurping Q. The patriots in question were trying to usurp. This video explains what happened very well. It certainly cleared my head about it all. Now, I can't go out and play this video because it's not my video. So the link to it will be in the link to these posts, okay? And you just look for May 14th. And the post number is 1413137. So, again, we're on this whole, thing, which I think Q is getting tired of because I think it's been explained very well. But what this Anon is saying, and Q is responding to in agreement, he's saying that there's a difference because if you're a journalist covering Q or trying to expound on the posts or bring meaning to the posts like I'm doing and like many others are doing, that's not the same as trying to usurp Q. Do you see? And so Yeah, and that really was what was going on. They were trying to gain their own following away from Q. Um, so, and Q responds to that in the affirmative. So, let's move forward. Now, I have seen this before, and I cannot, for the life of me, recall what it means. And if somebody, it's an icon of some sort of military or some group, I know that but I don't remember what it means. So if somebody can put that down below, I would appreciate it. If you could just put the skull is and what it is. But take a look at the other comments above. Like if 10 people have already said what it is, don't, because a lot of times when I ask that, people are so eager to help, and that's wonderful, but I end up with hundreds and hundreds of comments on the same thing. So just kind of pay attention to see if anyone else has posted it. But Q said, pain coming. Q. Alrighty. And the next one is, of course, and this is May 14th, Allison Mack of Nexium, arrested. What date? Well, it was April 21st, 2018. As far as I know, that's when it was all in the news and so forth. When does a bird sing? Well, we've been over this a million times, and every time we get weird answers, but Q is referring to, when somebody is caught doing something and they sing like a canary. Well, that means they've given everything. They've ratted everybody out to make their own deals. They've told everything they know. They've been cooperative. They're telling everything they know. That's what that means. So when does a bird sing? When it's caged. When you catch the bird, it sings. It's referring to, he sang like a canary. We caught so-and-so, they sang like a canary. That's what Q is saying. So in other words, Allison Mack is giving them the goods, verbally. She's telling them everything they want to know, who's involved. She's singing. Snyderman resigns. Date? Well, let's go out and take a look at what this is about. New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman resigns over assault allegations. New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman has resigned following a report on allegations of assault by multiple women in the New Yorker. It's been my great honor and privilege to serve as Attorney General for the people of the state of New York. In the last several hours, serious allegations, which I strongly contest.
New York's Attorney General Eric Schneiderman abruptly resigning 3 hours after the New Yorker published an article detailing abuse allegations from.
Okay, while these allegations are unrelated to my professional conduct or the operations of the office, they will effectively prevent me from leading the office's work at this critical time. I therefore resign my office effective at the close of business on May 8th, 2018. Now, shortly after he announced his resignation, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office said they had opened an investigation into the allegations against Schneiderman, a spokesman told CNN. Schneiderman's swift resignation, which came just hours after the New Yorker published its report, is a shocking fall from grace for the once rising star in Democratic politics. Schneiderman had cast himself as a fierce opponent and critic of President Donald Trump. Schneiderman has also been a vocal proponent of the Me Too movement, bringing legal action in New York against film producer Harvey Weinstein, who has been accused of sexually assaulting women. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has called for Schneiderman's resignation earlier Monday. No one is above the law, including New York's top legal officer, Cuomo said in a statement. I will be asking an appropriate New York District Attorney to commence an immediate investigation and proceed as the facts merit. My personal opinion is that given the damning pattern of facts and corroboration laid out in the article, I do not believe it is possible for Eric Schneiderman to continue to serve as Attorney General, and for the good of the office, he should resign. So, on Monday, the New Yorker magazine reported the allegations of 4 women who accused Schneiderman of physical violence against them. 2 of the women, Michelle Manning Barish and Tanya Selvaratnam, spoke on the record to the magazine, saying they had been romantically involved with Schneiderman, but that the violence was non-consensual, and which the New Yorker described as occurring often after drinking, frequently in bed, and never with their consent. Now, I'm not sure if it says it in this article, but there is a connection between him and Nexium, but I don't think it is in here. Yeah, it's not in here, but there is a connection there. I'm not sure of all the ins and outs of that connection, but there is, because Allison Mack is arrested April 21st. She sings, and then Schneiderman resigns on May 8th. You know, what, 2 weeks later? And then Q asks, coincidence? Eyes wide open. Who will be next? Watch New York City. Watch California. Q. And I wonder here if this eyes wide open is a reference to the movie Eyes Wide Shut. And of course, in that movie, there was the elite with their rituals and so forth, the secret elite. So I don't know, but you know, this means something other than just keep your eyes open. So interesting. All of this stuff is related, and all of it's coming out because you catch a few key people who are willing to talk, and the whole house of cards comes tumbling down. And that's what always happens. It happens in the mob. It happens, you know, wherever you have an illicit organization. That's what happens. You just have to catch one that'll talk. Now, Q makes reference to an Anon posted this. And it's a meme with Abraham Lincoln. Yes, he really said this. We, the people, are the rightful masters of both Congress and the courts, not to overthrow the Constitution, but to overthrow the men who would pervert the Constitution. And Q makes reference to that. And let me see now, I'm making sure. Yep, that is what he is making reference to indeed. And Q says, they knew this day would come. Evil everywhere, corruption everywhere. We fight. We, the people. Q. I really like that quote too. Now, so we're on to the next one, and this is May 15th. And Q says, time of publish, 4 a.m. Timing of drop, coincidence? Now, what he is referring to here is that this was published, the thing that we're about to go out to, this article that we're about to refer to, was published at 4 a.m. And timing of drop. Now, remember that Q said that the mainstream media gets their drops at 4 a.m., right? Remember he said that? That's when it's dropped from their informants to them. And they're given their talking points. So Q is saying, coincidence? Do you think it's a coincidence that was published at 4 a.m. and that's the time of, you know, that those who are informing them drop their intel, drop their talking points, excuse me. And then Q actually references this himself, to the article itself, and says it's a fight to reinstall a roadblock. So let's go out and take a look at this. Not sure how to pronounce his name, but I think it's Bahara. Weighs independent bid for New York Attorney General. Well, so what, you say? Well, not a good dude. Not a good dude. He has the name recognition, resume, and money to make the race. Former prosecutor plays coy about run and says, stay tuned. When a New York jury convicted ex-Assembly Speaker Sheldon Silver on bribery charges last week, the biggest winner might have been Preet Bharara, even though he was nowhere near the courtroom. As the top federal prosecutor in New York, it was Bharara who brought the case against the once powerful Democrat, and the verdict may have cemented his reputation as a crusading corruption fighter. He is no such thing. He's no such thing. Yet, even before the jury came back, Bharara was already weighing a run for the suddenly vacant spot of New York Attorney General, possibly doing so as an independent, free of ties to Democrats and Republicans, according to a person familiar with his thinking. So, who is this guy? And, this is... Let's take a look, because this is obviously a bias report. Let's go back to what Q has to say. Well, this isn't Q. This is from me, because I wanted to know a little bit more. I've heard the name, but I wanted to know more about who is this person. And I'm going to read this to you. This is a little bit of information I found out on him. Okay, there's 147 companies that are interlocked on Wall Street. They own 40% of the stocks. Now, Preet was Wall Street's district attorney because he was the DA for the Southern District of New York before he was fired by Trump. He has strong ties to the Gulen movement, which is a transnational Islamic social movement. I don't know what I was thinking, because this is very bad grammar, which is 3 to 6 million strong in Turkey and has an empire of affiliated banks, media, construction companies, and schools, especially those providing primary and secondary education in Turkey, in which business entities and foundations have been closed down by the Turkish government by the thousands in 2017, and in Africa, Central Asia, the Americas, and Europe. The leader of the movement, Fethullah, I think that's how you say it, Gulen, is in exile in Pennsylvania, and Erdogan, gosh, I have problems with this. Turkey's president has labeled the Gulen movement a terrorist organization and has asked the U.S. to extradite the leader for his alleged involvement in the 2016 coup attempt in Turkey. So, Preet, of course, as the district attorney for the Southern District of New York, was over Wall Street, and he had strong ties to the Gulen movement, and which is a transnational Islamic social movement, 3 to 6 million strong in Turkey. Now, he attempted a coup in Turkey, and he is in exile in the U.S. in Pennsylvania, and Turkey is requesting that we extradite him back to Turkey so that he can, face the music, so to speak. Now, there is a Gulen spy network in the U.S., and the Awan brothers were involved, Bharara was involved, and also Bharara was McCabe's right-hand man at one time. And as well, you have to ask yourself, what happened to the Weiner Abedin Clinton laptop investigation he was supposed to be investigating? So that's interesting, because he would have been over all that as well. So we can pretty much assume that, that was trying to be covered up. Anyway, let's see who this guy is. when he's not at home. And even when he is at home. Pro-government daily repeats Bahara controlled by Gulen movement, calls him stupid. One of the staunchly pro-government, sorry, my phone was just vibrating there and it distracted me. One of the staunchly pro-government newspapers in Turkey, the Star Daily, has repeated earlier claims about a U.S. attorney saying that he is controlled by the faith-based Gulen movement and stupid. Stupid Bahara, the toy of the parallel structure, read the headline of a story in the Daily on Monday, which also featured a photo of the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, Preet Bahara. Bahara has gained widespread Turkish attention online after filing a case against Reza Zarrab, an Iranian-Turkish businessman at the center of a corruption and bribery scandal that went public on December 17, 2013. The parallel structure, or parallel state, is a term invented by President Recep Tayyip Erdogan to refer to the Gulen movement following the becoming public of the corruption investigation in 2013, in which Erdogan's inner circle was implicated. Businessman Zarrab, who was arrested in U.S. last month, was the prime suspect in the corruption investigation. So yeah, they accuse him of being part of this parallel structure or deep state within Turkey. And this is interesting. In its story on Monday, Star accused Bahara of distorting its story and keeping his relations with U.S. Senator Chuck Schumer secret. Bahara's past with the office of Schumer, who was introduced also as being part of the parallel structure by Star, is cited as a crime. Bahara served as a chief counsel to Schumer for a while. Well, see how all these nasty little things work, these nasty little spider webs of people connected to other people. Bahara served as chief. Okay. In the story, Star also accused Bahara of acting insolently for associating the huge interest in him on social media with the lack of press freedom and anti-corruption fight in Turkey. On the date we engaged in the arrest, on the day that Mr. Zarrab was arrested in Florida, I had 8,100 Twitter followers. Within 4 days, I had gained 270,000 Twitter followers, virtually all of them from the nation of Turkey. And part of the reason for that was, as has been widely reported, there's a feeling that corruption is not being dealt with in that country. I'm not going to make any comment on that, but that's a feeling of what was going on. And the other reason that it's been widely reported is that people have not believed that there was a free press there, and so there's a lot more of people taking to the freedom of social media, the attorney said on Friday. So by targeting the press freedom and President Erdogan, I need to find out how to pronounce that properly because I always have a feeling I'm butchering it. Bahara actually revealed that he works against Turkey by linking the interest he received on social media and taking the issue to criticizing the president. Bahara showed that he is part of an operation against Turkey, said the Daily. So anyway, and this is interesting. According to Star, Bahara was also responsible on behalf of FBI for masterminding cyber attacks against the websites of public institutions in Turkey during 2013's Gezi Park protests, which sparked in protest of government plans to demolish Gezi Park in Istanbul's Taksim neighborhood and posed one of the biggest challenges to the rule of then Prime Minister Erdogan. So anyway, that's a little bit of his. There's so much. It's hard to get into all his links to everything, and I haven't even explored all that. So it's hard for me to bring you something that I haven't fully explored yet myself. So let's go back. And I think this was a blank link here. Oops. So let's go on and see what else we have here. So referring to the post below, no, actually, he is referring to this post. And this post It says, it's apparent to us Anons what crime Preet is complicit in. I don't know how these people keep thrusting themselves into the spotlight when they are pure evil. And Q responds, what do you notice? They all drop hints that they are considering future elected positions. Why? Claim interference? Attack on opposition party? Protection? Can you serve from jail? Q. I'm not sure why they're dropping hints that they're considering future elected positions. Is it to, interfere or to strike fear into, the white hats? I don't know. But Q is asking very poignantly, can you serve from jail? No, you can't. Doesn't work that way. And here, Q says on May 15th, Autist, we thank you. Patriots, we thank you. We came here for a reason. Freedom of information. No filters. History books. Be proud. Together. Where we go one, we go all. Q. And of course, history books, he's referring that we're rewriting history here in a sense, because we're going back on things and we're explaining what really happened. And we're also a part of history in even being alive in this time and witnessing this. We are witnessing history being written. So he's thanking the Autists of the 8chan board and the Patriots. And he's saying we came here for a reason, meaning we came to the 8chan board for a reason, because there's freedom there. There's no filters. All right. Now, this is interesting and sad at the same time. Did you catch it? President Trump gave remarks at 37th annual. Okay, actually, this is mine. Sorry about that. Here we go. So, did you catch it? And what he's talking about is President Trump gave remarks at the 37th Annual Peace Officers Memorial Service. And he's saying, did you catch it? And then the speech. Well, I did go out and I listened to the speech in its entirety, which is an hour long, over an hour long. What New York Police Department detectives were 187 mid-2017. And 187, of course, is murder. Well, the first is Officer Familia. And it's Detective Miosotis P. Familia. And let's go take a look at her. Very sad. Young lady. She died Wednesday, end of watch. That's very sad. Wednesday, July 5th, 2017. She had a family. Detective Miosotis Familia was shot and killed from ambush as she sat in a marked mobile command post vehicle at the intersection of East 183rd Street and Morris Avenue in the Bronx. As she sat in the vehicle at approximately 12:30 a.m., a male approached and fired one shot through the window, striking Detective Familia in the head. Officers responding to the call of an officer down confronted the male subject fleeing the scene. The officer shot and killed the subject in a exchange of gunfire. Detective Familia had served with the New York City Police Department for 12 years and was assigned to the 46th precinct. She is survived by her 3 children. Detective Familia was posthumously promoted to the rank of detective. So, yeah. Now, let's go back. And we're going to, let me see here. I'm going to link to the speech, and I'm going to show you a couple things here. First, we're going to go to the 55-minute mark, where he starts talking about her. Hang on.
Every week we're setting new records on, we have a catch and release program too. It's called We Catch Them and we release them in the country they came back from. We're getting them out. Or we're putting them in prison. The Trump administration has a policy, and it's very clear. We will protect those who protect us and who do such a great job in protecting us. That is why, as I promised all along, that we are allowing local police to access the surplus military equipment they need to protect our officers and law enforcement agents and save their lives. And they are taking equipment at a record clip. Millions and millions of dollars of surplus equipment is going to our police departments. If we want to bring down violent crime, then we must stand up for our police. We must confront and condemn dangerous anti-police prejudice. Can you believe this prejudice with respect to our police? We're not going to let bad things happen to our police. So we must show appreciation, gratitude, and respect for those who police our streets and patrol our communities. In 2016, an officer was assaulted in America on an average of every 10 minutes. Can you believe that? It's outrageous and it's unacceptable. We must end the attacks on our police, and we must end them right now. We believe criminals right? We believe criminals who kill our police should get the death penalty. Bring it forth.
I started this, I guess, a little too soon, but he's about to talk about this young police officer that died. I should have probably started a little bit later, but this is all good stuff.
One of the most alarming crimes taking place against our police are ambush attacks. Think of that, ambush attacks. I have directed the Justice Department to do everything in its power to defend the lives of American law enforcement. We are honored to be joined today by the family of Detective Mishel Familia. Detective Familia was a proud member of the New York Police Department. Where is that family? Where is that great family? Great family.
Now, normally I would skip over this next part because he's clapping and everyone's acknowledging the family, but I want to play this for those of you, and I doubt any of you would be listening to this if you felt Trump was racist, but perhaps you could defend Trump in front of your friends who are always constantly calling Trump racist, because I want you to look at how he treats this African American family, and especially the officer's aging mother. I want you to see how they treat her. It's heartwarming. In fact, actually, when I watched this, I cried. So let's.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Can you come up here? This is a great... Come up here, please. Come on, I'd like to have this family. New York Police Department, close to my heart. Come on. Can you open those gates, please?
These are the officer's 3 children, and you can tell they are fine young men and women. Now, the officer that was killed, her aging mother, 90 years old, is about to come up. I want you to watch how Trump treats this woman. Did you watch him kiss her on the forehead? That was sweet. I mean, really, that's sweet. And you can tell that Trump is really extending love to her, and truly extending love. What a sweet woman.
Come on, we'll go up here.
Did you hear him whisper?
So I promised I wouldn't tell you that she's 90 years old, but you know what? She is really something, right? You look like 55, maybe? 55? Huh? Boy, I'll tell you what. You got up those stairs better than I did. Thank you, sweetheart.
Mr. President,
Thank you.
I'd like to honor you.
Thank you, man.
I'd like to honor you with a challenge coin.
Thank you very
dedicated to Detective Amelia.
And this is the officer's partner that she worked with. And he will subsequently get up and speak about what a fine officer she was, and a fine person, and the quality of her family. Now, I want to play something else because I don't want to belabor this, but on the other hand, I found something unusual here, and I really want your opinion, because maybe I'm making something out of nothing, and maybe not. But you can see all the love happening here, and Trump is really honoring this family who lost their mother in such a violent way. And as is surmised, this officer was murdered because she had something to do with the Weiner, quote, insurance file, and possibly saw it. and was murdered because of it. Now, that none of that is mentioned here, of course, but that is what the implication is. Excuse me. Now, let me see. Back here, I made a note to myself at what point. It's a 104 mark. So let's go here. Okay. I'm going to just put this forward a bit. Now, I want you to watch these guys on the right. Okay? These guys on the right, I want you to watch them. This person and this person, there's a person right here that's not on the camera right now, but will be momentarily. And they both have their hands folded this way. I noticed this guy in front, for some reason, to me, he was probably just smiling, but he seemed to be laughing during this whole thing, which I found kind of odd. Maybe that was just his way of smiling. He appeared like he was laughing. He may have been nervous. You know, I don't want to assume something that's not so, if that's the case. However, pay attention to this person and this person. Now, Trump has just finished saying to this family, after this guy speaks, he says to this family, you wait here and we'll all go down together because I'm almost finished. So he's just signaled to the crowd and to all the people standing behind him that he is going to be finished momentarily and that this family is to walk down with him. Okay, so these two are about to, at the same time, withdraw a drink of water and take a drink of water at the same time. Now, if they needed water, why would they wait until just before he was finished? That's my question. If I was in a church service or whatever kind of service, a ward service, anything, and I was standing and I had access to water, I wouldn't wait until it was just about over, like within a couple minutes of being over, to take my drink of water. And what are the odds that two people standing side by side would take a drink at the exact same time in the exact same way and replace it? Pull it out the exact same way, take the cap off, drink the water, and put it away, and then put their hands back to being folded again. What are the odds of that happening, and why just as he's about to finish? So let's just take a look at this.
And a great guy, right? Friend of yours.
She was my partner.
Oh, wow.
She was killed.
We're a fantastic person, huh? I've heard that.
I have no idea.
Fantastic, huh?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you. Come. So I just want to say, the officer just, say something.
See how they just
You know what I'd like you to do? Say how great she was. Come here.
Pause this for a second. Notice how as soon as he started talking again, they folded their hands, both these guys. Now, he's about to say something, and I'm going to forward a little bit. Okay, now he's done. I think it's right here. Pay attention.
Why? Detective Familia was on duty in her vehicle, not far from Yankee Stadium. Big Yankee fan? You're all Yankee fans, right?
Keep watching these.
She was ambushed by a man for the simple reason that she was a member of the police department. She was a member of law enforcement. That was the simple reason. The attack, because she was so incredible, was just looked upon so horribly. Her family, when people met the family, they saw what an incredible person she was. I just want to say that to your entire family, it's such an honor to have you up here. We weren't going to bring you up, but I looked at you in the audience and I said, you have to come up because you're representing something so important. You understand that? She loved the department. She loved being a police officer. She loved her job. She was respected by everybody. They told me all about her. She was
So So this guy looks like he's laughing to me. These two guys are still standing in a ceremonial way with their hands folded, white gloves. So keep watching. He's about to say, you know, we can walk down together because I'm just about done.
Respected by everybody. So she's right now, right there, and she's looking down, and she's so proud of you. She's so proud of you. And you are great. You are great. Thank you very much. Stay.
They're reaching. They're just starting to reach for the bottle. Okay? You see?
Yeah, we'll go down together, okay? I told them to stay. We'll go down together. I'm almost finished, right? We'll go down together.
They're both drinking water at the
So
same
to all the families here today who have lost a loved one, I'd like to ask you to all please stand. Please stand. You lost mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sons and daughters.
They bring it down and they're replacing the caps at the same time. Right after he said that we're almost done. Two officers standing side by side. I guess they're officers. I'm not sure what their rank is or what their positions are. And then they replace them in the same way.
Daughters. And America lost incredible heroes.
Notice how somebody in the back bent down and took the bottle from them. You want to see that again? I think there's something to this, and I hate to belabor it, but I really do think that there's something to this. So here they are at the same time. They've taken their bottle. Now, let's see if somebody had handed them the bottle in the first place. Okay. Here they are.
And she may have been lost that night, but
She was respected by everybody forever. In our memories and our hearts, in that crisp blue uniform, we will think of you. We will think of your incredible daughter. We will be thinking of her. We will be thinking of all of the heroes we lost. And we will thank God for the men and women of law enforcement. Thanks again to all of our wonderful police,
He looks like he's laughing again.
our sheriffs, and all of law enforcement and law enforcement officers. You're incredible people. You are the finest. You are the greatest. You are our heroes. God bless you. God bless our fallen heroes. God bless their families, and God bless America. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Judge. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dad.
Sorry, trying to find that exact moment.
Come on down.
Mr. President.
Come on with us.
I feel the tense
I must have gone too far. I'm sorry. I don't know where the water is now. I was trying to find the moment when they grabbed the water because I was wanting to see if someone had handed it to them because I'm not sure where. I think it's here.
She's going to endure forever. She will endure forever. In our memories, in our hearts, and in the countless lives they touch. Great fallen officers. As we read the
I'm sorry, I don't want to hold you guys up
Strong.
forever, but
so brave heroes we lost, and we will thank God for the
I don't know. But I did see somebody take the bottle from them when they were done. So I would assume that, because I'm thinking, where is he grabbing that bottle from? It's from behind him, and I don't see where it looks like a she, grabbed the bottle, but they're drinking it at the exact same time. So I'm just thinking this is a sign, because it seems like there's a whole thing with signs involving water. Now, what this means, I don't know, but if you guys want to make your remarks below, I would really appreciate it, because I think I would be willing to bet money that, not that I'm a betting person, but if I was, I would bet money that that's a sign, because it's too obvious and it's too strange. Two people do not drink water at the same time in the same manner and replace their caps at the same time and put it behind them at the same time. It just seems odd. So anyway, I will not belabor that any further, because you're probably going, oh my gosh, will she shut up? I know. So it says, what New York Police Department detectives were killed mid-2017. So she was one, and she's obviously someone that's highlighted by Trump, and this is another one, Shaniqua Osborne. So let's go look at her. She died of a heart attack, but Q is saying that she was killed, and we know how heart attacks are, don't we? So Detective Shaniqua Osborne was on duty when she collapsed inside the 9th Precinct in Manhattan Thursday morning. And this is March 20th, 2017. A New York Police Department detective died after suffering a heart attack at the 9th Precinct in Manhattan Thursday morning. Detective Shaniqua Osborne, 42, was on duty when she collapsed inside the station at 321 East 5th Street around 7:30 a.m., according to NJ Blue Now, New Jersey Blue Now. The 19-year veteran of the force, oh, she doesn't look like she's old enough to be a 19-year veteran. Wow. She looks young to me. Well, I guess 40 would be young. Anyway, was transported to a local hospital where she was pronounced dead. Funeral arrangements are pending. So that's sad. Especially, I mean, it's sad for someone her age to die of a heart attack. She doesn't look like she's overweight. That doesn't mean anything, of course, but it's just sad for someone that young to die. But Q is saying 187. Which means murdered. So if she was murdered, why was she murdered? Was it, as some allude to, that she knew something about that file on Wiener's laptop? Is that it? Maybe. And then Q says, Godspeed, Patriot, we will never forget. Now, Detective Familia died via assassination, and Detective Osborne died of heart attack. Familia and Trooper Davis were shot within 5 days of each other. The Army active duty soldier who shot Davis and who inexplicably had no shirt on in court was asked, do you know why you are here? And he said, I don't know. Interesting. All right. Now, this, I've never seen this before, where instead of a trip code or something up here, you've got jjjohn.junker@cox.net. Not sure. Very strange to me. And he is referring to post 926. This, the one that we just got finished with. He's referring to that post. And he's because he asked, have you noticed anything with this speech, or what exactly did he say? Q said, did you catch it, the speech? So And this person said, at POTUS, I have directed the Justice Department to do everything in its power to defend the lives of American law enforcement. And so this person that's a direct quote from the speech, by the way. And so this person is responding that, is this what you're drawing attention to? And Q responds and refers to this above post and says, do you trust POTUS? Does POTUS trust Sessions to protect the lives of our brave law enforcement? Our country? Reconcile. Would Sessions be Attorney General still if he was deep state? Critical thinking dismisses fictional clickbait claims. Now, you know what fictional clickbait claims are. Those that are spreading disinformation, trying to get people to click on it by sensationalistic claims. Obviously, POTUS trusts Sessions, or he would not be Attorney General still, right? And so, yes, I think POTUS does trust Sessions to protect the lives of our brave law enforcement. Otherwise, he wouldn't be there. So he says critical thinking dismisses fictional clickbait claims. Q. And I agree. We need to think critically. Now, this is a Q post, obviously. Here's Q's trip code, and it's May 16th. And he's referring to an earlier post of his. Why are POTUS supporters screaming for end? POTUS witch hunt end. Add Rudy. Quiet. Can the investigation officially, publicly drop POTUS from review and continue? Why did Podesta Group close shop? Why are known bad actors in full support of Mueller? Why did POTUS interview FBI Director Mueller a day prior to Supreme Court appointment if impossible to assign position? Why did Session recuse? What are the powers of Huber / Inspector General Horowitz, Inspector General Horowitz, that stands for. Who has the power? Who can know? Are Dems using as midterm tactic to win House? Are Dems using as ammo to gain majority to impeach? Impeach on what grounds? What facts exist to impeach? House report, POTUS, no evidence of collusion. And of course, we know that. Now, I'm not going to get into all this again because we've covered this in other videos, but the reason for him posting this is going to become very clear in a moment. And of course, this is the last from May 16th, and we're going to be then on to May 17th, which is today, which is going to be in another video because this has gotten to be quite lengthy. So Q here has said, you have a choice. Do what is right. And he puts a YouTube video link here. And again, I'm going to leave the link to the Q posts as they're listed so that you can access this for yourself, because I will get a copyright strike. But I do suggest that you go and look at this. And actually, maybe I'll do this because it's a speech by Reagan, and it's absolutely riveting and very moving. But I'll go here just so you can see the title of it, so you can look at it. It's called "We Must Fight." President Reagan, and then Tidale's version. So if you look that up, the person that published this was Tidale, T-Y-D, capital D-A-L-E, and it's "We Must Fight" by President Reagan. So I really would encourage you to watch this. It's very moving. It's very well done. It's 3 minutes and 35 seconds. And there's music to it, which I'd probably get a copyright strike, and it's not my video, so I don't want to play it in full. So, oh, and let me say also, while I'm at it, that the video we were just looking at with Trump was by Right Side Broadcasting, and they do a very good job. I've always been quite impressed with that channel. So just want to give them a shout out because we did use their live feed there. So let's go back. that's it for, May 16th. We're caught up to today, but I did have a few other things that I put in here that I grabbed just to kind of, fill out our knowledge of these preceding posts. Now this person, I grabbed this from their Twitter page, Paul Speary, says, breaking. Inspector General Horowitz has found, quote, reasonable grounds for believing there has been a violation of federal criminal law in the FBI, DOJ's handling of the Clinton investigations, and has referred his findings of potential criminal misconduct to Huber for possible criminal prosecution. Now, if you don't think that, and that's from today, if you don't think that's good news, then I don't know what you would consider good news. Breaking. This is by Bailey Olson. And again, I stole this from Twitter. Well, I didn't really steal it. I just clipped it and, okay, I stole it. Breaking. Draft of Inspector General report detailing misdeeds of FBI's Hillary Clinton investigation to be made public in coming days. Possibly today. Again, very good news. And this is Donald Trump at Real Donald Trump. So yes, it's the real Donald Trump. And this was taken from his Twitter, sorry. Despite the disgusting, illegal, and unwarranted witch hunt we have had, the most successful first 17-month administration in U.S. history by far. Sorry to the fake news media and haters, but that's the way it is. Now, here, where did that go? Here. Now I grabbed this from the Great Awakening board, Reddit. Q posted 17 drops yesterday. And today, Trump tweeted about his 17th month in office. Coincidence? Well, probably not. Because Q has said repeatedly that there are no coincidences when it comes to this stuff. And this is another interesting tweet by Trump that was made today. Wow, word seems to be coming out that the Obama FBI, quote, spied on the Trump campaign with an embedded informant. Andrew McCarthy says, quote, there's probably no doubt that they had at least one confidential informant in the campaign, end quote. If so, this is bigger than Watergate. And of course, we know this is much, much bigger than Watergate. So, what else did I put in here? And I thought this was interesting. And I thought you guys might like to see it. Secret Service busts a Texas pedo with 58 terabytes of child porn after largest raid in history. That was yesterday. That is huge. Now, how much child porn does it take to make up 58 terabytes? 58 terabytes of children being abused by pedophiles. That is absolutely nauseating. I am so thankful that, this guy was caught. I'm very thankful for that. And I'm very thankful to the Secret Service who, performed this capture. But to think about how much 58 terabytes of child porn is, it literally boggles your mind. And it's the largest bust of child pornography ever found during a raid against a pedophile from Allen, who police say has a stunning 58 terabytes of data on his computer. 39-year-old Richard Denver Belden. Lovely fellow. Not. So that brings us up to today and kind of brings us up to speed here. And we've covered a lot. I realize that. And I realize this video has been very long. Don't know how long the next one will be because I really haven't gotten into looking at those drops yet for today. So that is what I'm going to do next. And I will attempt to bring you that tonight so that we can be totally caught up and on track. I appreciate you guys so much, and I appreciate your patience with me. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. If you have subscribed, make sure that you stay subscribed because they do drop subscribers. Also hit the bell so you will receive notifications when I post. Again, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. Have a good evening and stay safe.